I take full credit for that. That was the greatest creation
That was a
I've
good
ever
meme.
had. Alright. I don't know what else to say other than welcome to Around the NFL. This is our weekly shit posting center.
It's a shit extravaganza.
Shit extravaganza. Not as bad as the shit show that Zalt and JT
It's
have
just
been
as
doing.
bad.
It's just as bad, yeah. Let's get on our first topic, and that is on the topic of the worst QB to this point in the season. Gentlemen, take it away. We're going to start with best. Who's been the worst?
I think it's easy. The 49ers quarterback named Zalt started off in week 1 with only four completions. He threw 1 touchdown, but he also threw 5 interceptions. You could also say the same thing for week 2, except that your quarterback in week 2. And I was proud of myself for that 49ers week 2 team, and we can basically talk about week 2 anyway. It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, it was not good for 49ers. Wood, what do you have to say about worst QB?
Zoltanus went 4 for 18 with 5 interceptions. By far the worst QB week 1 after myself.
After myself, he says. I like that you're being humble about it. I'm going to go now. I'm going to say the worst QB week 1 was, and this is going to be a little bit of a shock. I think it was Vex was the worst QB in week 1. Because you gotta think about it this way. They took Vex out week 1, the Packers did, and then they let Hip QB. If you're getting replaced by Hip, what the fuck are you doing? Of course, Vex absolutely clapped the Browns' cheeks week 2, throwing 6 touchdowns to only 1 interception, and the Broncos throw in.
The Browns start Shafia deep, dog.
Yeah.
Anybody's gonna toast that defense.
Yeah, well, whatever. Tamba, what do you have to say? Worst QB week 1?
Well, I can tell you
There
that
we
since I
go.
was a Seahawks player, I played against the 49ers, and Zalt sucks! God, he sucks. Like, God, dude, bro, he gave me 2 free interceptions, bro. I was literally playing with the arrow keys happening. Like, he sucked.
Yo, feels bad for Zolt.
Yeah, it feels bad for Zol. He's actually in the call. He's actually our Radiance stand-in today because Radiance isn't here. So, Radiance, what do you have to say? Is Zalt the worst QB in NFL so far?
Zalt? By far, dude. Zalt is terrible. Zalt is ass cheeks at quarterback, bro.
Yeah.
He's worse than Weak Note, dude.
Hey, let's have some respect. Shut up, Zalt. I'm not letting you defend yourself.
Dude, you could put Tony at QB and you put up better numbers than Zoltanus.
No, it's Kino 60, bro.
Oh,
Kino
that is
60. Kino 60. Kino 60. Why are you guys talking shit about
Kino-
Kino 60?
Kino can put up better stats on mobile than Zoltanus.
Moving on to our next topic, and that's going to be about the Sunslingers and the Vikings. And the question is, will they be able to have a good season? Radiance, we start with you.
No, probably not, actually. Not gonna lie, they got Finley at head coach, they signed Death ATL, I've never seen that guy DJ in my life, and they have Sons at QB who's not very good, so my answer is no.
Get Trent out here.
I think they could lose out, honestly, unless they play the Browns or the fucking 49ers or something else.
I think they play the Browns and the 49ers.
Well, then they'll win 2 more games.
Campbell, what you say? Will the
Alright, well,
Vikings
I
be
can
able-
tell you that they're not the worst team in the league. I can say that the Browns are worse, even if the Minnesota Vikings have no roster.
Wait. I forgot the Browns signed Chris and Urek, so actually they could probably win.
Oh, yeah, no, never mind. Alright, anyways, but Vikings, yeah, they suck. If you put Suns at QB, you're asking to lose out. And I could probably put Kino at QB with his 500 peaks the
Shit,
whole
dude.
time in QB better.
We're fucking
And then-
packing people.
And then we're talking about, I mean, like, who they
got?
got on their team? Death ATL, when's the last time that man DJ'd?
Never.
Yeah, for real, let's be here. And then their NFC's the weak division, but there's still a lot more teams that are better than them.
I'm actually going to be the one voice of optimism for the Vikings, and that's the fact that, look, I know what they have in Finley. He's a pretty good wide receiver, and he was a decent deep with this DJ. I think Suns, he'll definitely put in the work. The question is Suns going to try and use alts? We don't know at this point. Yeah, I know I'm being a dick. But I think the Vikings, the NFC's really weak. I still think that the Vikings are going to make the playoffs just because I don't know what I see out of the 49ers, and I have a feeling the Packers with that QB are not going to be able to do it in the long run because it's just my opinion. I don't think the Packers can win games with HIPAA QB. I mean, they obviously won one, but when you look at their next few games, they play the Patriots, then they play the Hawks, which they're a pretty good team actually, and then they play the Eagles. So it's not looking easy for them. Out and for up down the stretch. Wood Creek, we go to you. Please shut your brother up for the next 5 minutes.
The Vikings are completely lost. They keep going nowhere. No shame on Sunslingers, but he literally can't QB for his goddamn life. If the
Why are you
Vikings
talking?
For Vikings hope to win, they cannot rely on Finley to win games, and they actually need to start signing receivers.
All right, they need to sign receivers. Bess, what do you think?
For the Vikings, I definitely think, based on the schedule, one of the most important games to watch for it'll be a Vikings 49ers game in Week 5. That's going to be a deciding factor in who makes the playoffs and who does not. And I also think Vikings maybe could go. How many weeks? 8 or
8?
Yeah,
no,
8.
8 weeks.
And they're 1-0 right now, and their Seahawks game is TBD because of situation.
At best, 4-4. That's what I'd say.
4-4. All right. So our next topic is the Jaguars. Should they be worried about their 0-2 starts this season? We're going to start with. We'll start with Tambo. Why not?
Alright, so, my opinion, Odell has not been there either games, and Odell's like the number one receiver. According to Jack and Kelvin, they haven't been there either game, so that's already missing the number one receiver. So that's a lot. Odell's really, really good. And, well, ejected, they're probably trolling, to be honest. Let's be real here. They're probably trolling.
No, they're not trolling, dude.
Doesn't Odell own the team?
Yeah, Odell's been at the games. Kelvin's missed a decent amount of time. They're not trolling. They're just missing key players.
They just don't care.
Yeah, they probably
Stop trying to make excuses for them. They care. Obviously, they're showing up to the fuck. What do you think? They show up to lose? It's a waste of time. They're just getting outplayed because they're missing their key players.
I just think that they're personally just gonna
This is the same thing that happened to Debitron in NFL. Whenever he lost, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, he's trolling." But then when he won, he get all the praise. It's like, no, he just lost. He's not trolling.
No, I just think that they're gonna.
Ejected is used to the OFL ball. That's probably why he's been struggling with QB.
Maybe just think
that's
he's
why.
gonna pull a Sean and just float through the season, barely make playoffs, and then he's gonna sweat and win it all.
Speaking of Sean, Sean's been having a good season at receiver for the Jaguars.
Yeah, but he's the only one that gets open.
Yeah,
I know if they had Odell, they'd be in better
their
shape.
receiver core is raw.
Dude,
Odell,
who else is
Trick,
actually gonna throw to
Sean.
Mallory Rose? Goddamn.
ejected sometimes.
Mal's not bad, but she drops too many passes.
She doesn't know what she's doing in DJ, bro.
I'm gonna hit her up, no fine.
Unless she's wide open, you can't rely on her.
Radiance, what do you think about the Jaguars? Can they pull it around?
I mean, they obviously can. They've lost 2 games, but they can easily make the playoffs if they get their act together. Odell has to start going to games. Kelvin has to start going to games. Their DE core is not very good. That's kind of the problem. But they have Zoo, but he's kind of inactive. But yeah, they just need Odell and ejected to show up. Odell and Kelvin to show up, and they can win games, make the playoffs.
Do you think the Jaguars are still the 3rd best team in the NFC?
No, they don't deserve to be considered.
For me, what the Jaguars have to do is they have to win their next game for me for a decent amount. The problem is that's the Rams, and we know how Rocky's looked. He may have been throwing a little bit in that game against the Eagles, but he's still arguably one of the best QBs so far. I don't know how many games the Jags can reasonably win. I think they might miss playoffs, honestly, if their key players don't start showing up, because Rams is not going to be an easy game. Raiders, they've been surprisingly good. I had them number 12 to start the season. That says a lot. Broncos, we might be a bit of a pushover. It depends on who we get there. Vikings, yeah, that's a win right now. Eagles, probably not a win. And the Browns, the Browns could be the dark horse team at this point. I'm gonna pass the mic to Best, and then we'll come to Wood Creek last.
All right, so the prediction for me is definitely going to be, with Kelvin, they went out. Without Kelvin, like, let's say, like, if Kelvin didn't show up, like, the rest of the season, I'm just going ballpark, but he most likely will show most of the rest of the season. It's either without Kelvin, they will be 4-4. With Kelvin, they will go 6-2. It's going to be obvious. If we look at Kelvin's passer rating right now, he leads the league, even though he has not been hasn't been to the. He showed up maybe after the third quarter in both games. 18 passes, 11 completions, and 7 touchdowns. That's a pretty good ratio. That shows that his wide receivers can get open down the field, definitely. And I mean, come on, you can't ignore the fact that it's Kelvin and ejected team, basically. You can't ignore the fact that Kelvin always makes a Super Bowl. That he'll always find a way. And I definitely see the Jaguars making it to the conference championships against the Ravens.
Whoa.
The best case for the Jaguars is definitely going to be 6-2.
Yeah.
I do not. If Kelvin shows up every game and plays every game, they are winning out. As you can see, though, once Kelvin shows up, it's a much different game. Kelvin hasn't thrown a single interception. I get the sample size and all that stuff, but he hasn't thrown a single interception. He gets how to play the field. I just don't see Jaguars missing the playoffs or even not making it past the first round.
I
agree.
Yeah, I can.
Alright, my
I see
prediction's
it.
simple.
Wood, go.
Kelvin don't show, or Odell don't show. Jaguars lose. Best record probably like 7-1. Worst probably like 6-2.
They've already lost 2 games. They've already lost.
Bro.
They've already lost twice.
6-2.
How are you gonna mess this up?
My bad. 6-2, and then
He's obviously the worst COO and no one should vote
worst
him for
record
Heisman for the
probably
year.
like
5-3. I mean,
5-3. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's if Kelvin starts to show and Odell starts to show.
Just a show of hands.
But if they don't, it's a different story.
Just a real quick sound off. Who's more important to the Jags' success, Kelvin or Odell?
Kelvin. It's easy.
Without a QB, you're not winning.
Could they make it with eject a QB if Odell starts to show?
Well, Jack gets used to the ball.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, maybe. They really do need Odell.
Yeah.
But Jack needs to start QB.
But is Odell more of a priority for them than Kelvin?
No.
All right. Our next topic is gonna be one player that could be a dark horse for their teams. I'm gonna start with this one because I'm gonna try and give you guys a general sense. I think that the one player that's gonna be really important to the Broncos' success is gonna be their center Don. Now, the reason I say this is because if you look on the stat sheet, I have stats at center, and that's not a good thing. You don't want to have a lot of stats at center, and I have stats at center, so that's bad. First of all, but think about it this way. When I was centering for our game against the Ravens, I don't think anything could have made us beat the Ravens except if we had Vex, Rila was our receiver, we had Depatron. If we had the full team that we do now, it would be a lot closer of a game, I feel like. But then you look at the next game, right? You have Dawn there the full time. He, I don't know. They only allow like 2 sacks that entire game. Dawn allowed 2 sacks the entire time that they played center, which was like 2 drives, and then I had to go back in because I was doing that much better, which is saying a lot. And then Dawn's probably I'm not going to say best defensive end we have on the roster because we have Evo, but Dawn is probably the second best D end we have on on the roster right now. So I think without Dom, the Broncos will not be able to make the playoffs. Is my opinion.
Yeah, I can go.
All right, that's best. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
The one player that will be critical to their team for the Raiders is definitely going to be Weak Note. So Weak Note is going to be the living and breathing soul of the Raiders team. His play at quarterback will determine how the Raiders season goes, if they win a game or if they lose a game. He hasn't had a great season. He has 8 passing touchdowns and 8 interceptions. It's not that great. I don't know if maybe it might be not updated yet, but I'm pretty sure it is. But I definitely say that Weak Note is going to be the talk of the season for the AFC and the Raiders especially.
Damn.
Super underrated player on the 49ers is Keno 60.
Oh God.
Oh no.
So
Okay,
he's
don't
easily
meme, come on,
the
don't
best
meme.
laggy player I've ever seen in my life. Like, that boy is a god. Like, he can get open deep, and then, like, he can get open deep. He can block from 6 yards away. Would you believe that? Like, alright.
He's got great lateral movement. That's
An
what I'll
actual
say.
underrated player.
Alright, I got someone.
No, actually, a really underrated player for me is BTD on the Ravens. I'm friends with BTD, and BTD is a really hard player to dog. Like, BTD, he's not, I would say he's more of a possession receiver than anything else. He is hard to dog. BTD can dog, like, anyone on a Hail Mary. BTD can dog, like, he's one of the best possession receivers I've seen. Like, he can dog anyone on a Hail Mary. If you like, if it's like a toss-up in the Super Bowl or something.
Doesn't he play tight end?
BTD plays receiver, I think.
No, he plays tight end.
He plays tight end. I'm about to take that tight end.
I've watched him.
Either way,
Yeah.
like BTD.
No, yeah, I know.
BTD is extremely good and underrated. And for defense, I mean, he's more of an offensive player in my opinion, but he's insane. Like, he's really, really good. And he knows the DJ.
I think on that roster, yeah, BTD is a bit of a dark horse. If he was on any other roster, we'd be talking about him as probably one of the best receivers on that roster.
I think I will go with, I don't know. Oh yeah, Decimus. He might not be underrated, I guess, but he's really good. I don't think people talk about him a lot. I think he plays MLB. He like pretty much carried the Eagles to that win today. He got like 2 wins, a sack. He got the game-winning touchdown. So he kind of carries our defense, and he's one of their best receivers. So I think he has to play do well on both sides for the Eagles to be the top team in the conference.
All right, I'm gonna let Wood go now. Wait, that's you already go.
Yeah, I
All right,
talked
so then
about
it's Wood,
Weak
and then
Note.
I have a bonus player.
Okay, so I got Patriots WR/CB Amari. Amari is very extremely underrated for how good he is. He has 3 hits up, as well with 4 receptions, 161 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. I think if Amari's not there, the Patriots have.
He was playing like he wasn't there last week. Right, Amari has to play well for us to win. So he is right.
That's a fair
Amari's
point.
not there and on his A game. Patriots aren't winning.
No, he did catch the Hail Mary to win the game that the fan ruined. So I'll give Amari credit for that, because we would have won the game if not for that fucking.
All right, so we're gonna go with
Not really.
my bonus player that needs to be mentioned, and that's gonna be Vikings. Finley. Finley is gonna be a big part of the Vikings, his success or failures, because he is the number 1 receiver right now. We know Suns is gonna QB. He has to be the guy there. He has to be able to get the catches that they need, that Suns needs to advance the ball down the field. He has to put up numbers. He did it before in the old NFL when he was on the Cowboys. He was I think our second option behind Day. And I don't think that the Vikings can do anything without Finley. And I mean, he can basically play every position on defense, and he can perform on it. So, yeah, that's the bonus impact player. Can the Browns turn their season around and maybe make a push for the playoffs? Yes or no? We're gonna start with Radiance just so he can shit on his brother for a
The
little bit.
Browns?
Can the Browns maybe make a push for the playoffs?
I think they're good, honestly. I mean, they got a good QB now. They got one of the best tight ends, one of the best CBs in the league, Urecht, when he plays. High's surprisingly been good at receiver. Wood is not terrible at deep. He's not that good, but he's not terrible. And yeah, they have some other good players, so I think they could turn it around now that they have a good QB.
They could turn around now that they have a good QB. No, the Browns are not going to be able to turn it. Look, no offense to
I'm gonna throw so much shade, bro.
no offense
Just keep
to Wood
going,
Creek,
bro.
but Vikings. I said earlier that the Vikings could beat the Browns, even with this reduced roster, and I still stand by it. I just, outside of Chris and Urecht, who's really gonna be big on that team?
High's been pretty good, honestly.
Okay. What can we expect from High though? I mean, obviously.
Well, Radiance beats him and trains him, so.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have to be like he doesn't have to be the number one receiver anymore. He can like be the second guy like behind
but
Urecht.
He has to match his performance so far, and I don't see that happening. Ravens, yeah, they're not winning that game. Patriots, no way in hell. Packers, maybe. 49ers, probably. Against the Jags, no. I just don't think they can turn their season around, given that their most winnable game came the first 2 weeks. Their most winnable.
Yeah.
If they won those games, we'd be talking about a Browns team that shocked the world, is a world beater that can do anything.
Are you
They
saying
suck.
Are you saying we can't beat the Niners?
No, I'm saying you can beat the Niners. That's one of your maybe 2 wins you can definitely get.
That's gonna be the strongest suit ever, man. It should be a blowout.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't see anything else going well for the Browns, though. I don't see them. I still don't see them beating Suns. Maybe
Okay,
that's
next.
just because. All right, yeah. Wood Creek.
All right, I think it's my turn, man.
Best, yeah.
So, the Browns, I don't think their season could be turned around unless one thing, which I'm gonna need Radiance to mute himself and deafen himself so he cannot hear this.
I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say. Yeah.
Because the only way is that if Wood Creek turns his account over to Radiance, quarterbacks the rest of the year.
And even then, they're not gonna win. Let's be honest.
Nah, they could probably win because Chef High literally lives 2 steps away from him.
I'm gonna talk about some of the power rankings that some of our Sports Center analysts have sent in. We're gonna start with the top 5 from Steve Irwin, the Crocodile Hunter, aka Miserable Aussie. He has Ravens at number 1, Patriots at number 2, Rams at number 3, Jags at number 4, and the Eagles at number 5.
I don't.
What do you guys think about?
I disagree. I disagree.
Aussies? All right. What do you disagree about Ravens?
What?
Oh my God, that's Wood Creek. You guys sound so familiar. All right, whatever. Radiance or Wood Creek. What do you think about? Aussies?
Wait.
Power?
Read the list again.
Ravens 1, Pats 2, Rams 3, Jags 4, Eagles 5.
Get Rams the fuck.
That's
out
pretty
of
good.
here.
I mean, that's pretty good, but
You don't think
I
the
dropped
Rams are in the top
I
five?
dropped the
Radiance,
Patriots.
shut up.
honestly.
I'm talking
I
to Wood.
dropped the Rams. Rams are like a top 10 team. I don't see them as a top 5 team right now.
Who'd you put in their place?
Raiders. The fuck.
Yeah, he surprisingly has Raiders below my team, which I don't know why he did that. Thank you for flattering me, Aussie boy. Radiance, we go to you. Stop jumping on the desk.
The power rankings?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Ravens won. I dropped the Patriots to number 4 just because they lost, not because they're like awful, but who'd they have third?
Rams.
Rams. I put the Eagles above the Rams because they won. I put Jags like number 6 or 7. 5th, I don't know. It's really a toss-up, honestly. I haven't seen Seattle play yet.
Fifth.
Oh, Oakland? Yeah, I think they could make a case for 5th. They're 2-0 now. One of the only 2 teams that are 2-0.
All right.
So, yeah, that's pretty good to me.
This next one, I think, comes from us. by
Wood
way
Creek.
of Wood Creek. Yeah, Wood Creek has Ravens 1, Ravens 1, Raiders 2, Pats 3, Hawks 4, and Eagles 5. Radiance, you get to rag on your brother first, and then I get to go.
He has Raiders 2. I think it's a little too high, even though they're 2-0. I think they deserve to be top 5, but not that high. Who does he have 3?
You guys.
Okay, that's fair, I guess. What about 4?
Hawks.
Hawks, that's way too high. I'd have Hawks at like 6 or 7 probably. And then who do you have 5th?
Eagles 5.
Eagles 5, yeah. I mean, that's fine.
Okay. The one big knock I have on this is Hawks at 4. I don't know what I think about that team. And Tama's not here to comment, which is sad.
It's unfortunate.
yeah, that's unfortunate. Oh god. Bess, what do you think about Aussie or Creek's 5?
I think it's actually pretty garbage.
What?
If we're being honest.
Obviously.
I'm gonna come over there and smack you.
I wish you would.
All right. What about it would you change?
Ravens, Patriots, Rams, Eagles, and then Jaguars.
Dude, you guys are rating Rams so high.
The reason why is because Eagles...
Just based on talent, obviously. Like,
Yeah.
No, it's not based on talent. It's based on the fact that when I watched the game today,
I saw Juarez.
it's a Rams game that the Rams win in a scenario where it's a win or lose game, like a must-win game. It's a game where they obviously win. They don't troll that.
yeah.
All right.
The Rams had it won, but they decided to give the Eagles a chance. That's why I put the Rams above the Eagles.
I saw Juarez like 8 times today.
Yeah, I think that's just Duron screwing around. We're gonna go with my top 3. Number 1, of course, the Ravens. I'm gonna put Raiders number 2. I'm putting the Jags at number 3 just because the talent is there. They have not put it together yet. I mean, Eagles are obviously top 5.
Who do you have at 2?
I put Raiders 2.
Whoa, you have the Jags over the Patriots even when they're 0-2 and they lost to the Patriots? That's pretty bold.
Yes, I absolutely did because if Kelvin
And then I lost by 2. Lost by 2 to your number 2 ranked team.
Radiance. If Kelvin had been there,
No logic here.
if Kelvin had been there against your team the whole time, you'd be 0-2 right now. I'm just saying.
Well, Kelvin was there the whole time, but he just didn't QB the whole time.
If he QB'd the whole time, you'd be 0-2 right now. Is my prediction. So yeah, that's the top 3. Pats.
Well, I should be
4,
2-0,
number
but
5, and I'll get into more of that later. All right, we're gonna loop back to our last topic of the day, the NFC. What the fuck's going on there? We already touched on this earlier, but the recording cut out. So as a general thing, we think we have Rams number 1 in the NFC. Correct?
Yeah, I have
And then
them.
it's
I have Eagles number 1.
and
I
then
have
it's
Rams.
what? Eagles, Hawks.
Hawks.
Eagles, Hawks 2 and 3. You can interchange
Packers
them at this
after.
point. Packers 4, and then Vikings. All right, so we're gonna go with one thing to watch in Week 3. Bess, what do you have to watch in Week 3?
Okay, so I'm gonna be a little biased in the Ravens and Eagles game. I'm not gonna say to watch out for me, even though you probably should, but nah. So the player that you should watch out for right now in the Ravens is it's a wide receiver who's actually been a great number 2 in stats for the Ravens. And it's not someone named Matthew or BTD or Hollow or James.
It's Trent.
It's Trent. Trent, he's only had 6 receptions and 233 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, he also has an interception. He's actually been a pretty good deep. He lets up some stuff, but he's been pretty solid with Matthew at his other side.
All right, I'm gonna say the one thing to watch out for in Week 3 is that Broncos-Seahawks game. I think that is probably, I dare say, the best matchup this weekend, because I think those teams are the 2 most even, like between all the matchups, excluding Rams, Jags, because we don't know what we're gonna get out of them. But I think the winner of that, it's going to go a long way to seeing which of those 2 bubble teams is going to make the playoffs. I give the slightest of edges to my team, the Broncos, just because we looked the part more against the Browns. Our defense was we were baiting friends. We were trying to take advantage of a terrible QB that we had. All right, Wood Creek. What do you think is the one thing to watch out for in week?
I'm gonna be a little biased here, but hear me out. I say the Browns Vikings game, and the reason I say this is because both teams have new people and both teams have new quarterbacks, so you don't really know what's gonna happen, and anything can really happen here, and you just gotta see what happens and base it off of that.
Thank you for watching Around the NFL. If you want to see more of this, please ask some questions for us, because obviously my questions are not funny and or stupid enough to get a rise out of these fucking morons.